Hello, I'm going to keep this a really short podcast today. And I just want to give one very simple idea, really, because when people come and see me for therapy and counselling, one of the things that they'll often say is something along the lines of, "Am I going mad?" And what they'll often think is that the way they're behaving is kind of crazy in some way. And the interesting thing is that what we find out very quickly is that whatever is happening that they're wanting to stop happening, they're wanting to change, isn't crazy at all, but makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense in terms of what that person went through, what that person struggled with, what that person has, the journey that they've gone on in life. The thing that they think is something that it just must be crazy. It must be a fault in some way. We work out very quickly that it's not at all. And in fact, for the most part, it's normally some genius solution to some old problem. Maybe a problem that doesn't exist anymore because they've gotten older or their environment's changed or whatever. And so this pattern is kind of locked in. But that pattern was created by them some time ago in an act of absolute genius that got them through whatever it was that they were going through at the time. And so very quickly we move from this place of, I must be crazy, this must be something that's disordered or maladaptive or whatever word you want to use, to understanding that it was actually an act of really smart self-protection, something that was really successful, not a fault, but something that was really successful at getting you through that particular environment that you went through, that particular struggle that you had to navigate. And it's interesting because what we start off thinking as some sort of flaw in us, we realise is actually an expression of our genius, of how smart and resilient and resourceful that we are and that we were back then in order to create this way of being that helped us to survive whatever that was. So the idea that I'm giving you in this episode is that whatever it is that you're struggling with, it makes sense. It's a simple idea, but it's a powerful one, and it speaks to your genius. Sometimes a genius that you manage to express at a time in your life when you may well have been the most dependent, the youngest, the least resourced than you may have ever been. And yet somehow you created this genius from somewhere to give you a way of getting through. So you're not losing it. You're not going crazy. Whatever is happening makes sense. And our job together is to find out how it makes sense so that you can make sure that if it's getting in the way now, that you're safe and able to make the changes that you need to make in order to find a new strategy that works better for you today. So thanks for listening to the podcast. If you'd like to work with me, I'm Alun Parry. You can find me at liverpoolpsychotherapy.co.uk and you can work with me online or in person at my offices on Rodney Street in Liverpool. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with your friends. That always helps. Give it a review on Apple Podcasts. And until tomorrow, take care of yourself and thanks for listening.